October 2024 is building up to be a cinematic treat for moviegoers, with Netflix, Amazon Prime, and Max offering some of their largest and most widely anticipated titles yet. From blockbuster debuts to undiscovered gems, these streaming behemoths are offering up the very best movie binge content, aiming to keep you riveted to your screen. Prepare yourself for an exciting journey as we delve into the must-see movie releases that will take center stage on your October watch list. Number 10. Killer Heat. It is a 2024 crime mystery drama film, directed by Felipe Lacket. The narrative centers on Nick Bali, a private detective who is hired to investigate the possible murder of young transport mogul Leo Varoufakis on the Greek island of Crete. In the meantime, Leo's sister-in-law thinks there's more to the story and is dubious of the formal police account. As Nick digs further into the case, he uncovers a murky side to the wealthy Varoufakis family where lies and hatred drive and everyone could be a suspect. With danger waiting behind every corner, Nick must explore this perilous landscape to discover what is true about Leo's murder. The noir crime theme merges seamlessly with a sunny backdrop, giving the film a unique modern vibe. While some sharp observers may be able to foresee the mystery at the start, Killer Heat does an excellent job of introducing complicating elements that move it from a straightforward case to one that demands more comprehensive analysis. This results in a fascinating and truly fulfilling conclusion that captures our attention and holds it. Killer Heat is ultimately an intriguing and refreshing film that merits recognition for its inventiveness and superb narrative. Number 9. Salem's Lot. It is a 2024 supernatural horror film, directed by Gary Dauberman. It is a retelling of the beloved Stephen King vampire book that takes place in the little hamlet of Jerusalem's Lot and follows Ben Mears, a writer who returns home. Shortly following his arrival, he finds that the community has been invaded by vampires. As the town's population succumbs to the vampires, the writer joins forces with a team of survivors to battle the ancient evil that plagues the town. The vampires are portrayed with eerie, hideous designs that are evocative of classic horror films, yet the fear factor is increased with contemporary visual effects. Although the Salem's Lot adaptation emphasizes visual horror, it falls short of capturing the book's underlying fear of isolation in tiny towns. The absence of some character origins may frustrate fans who enjoyed the original. All things considered, it's an atmospheric horror movie with lots of jump scares and vintage vampire mythology. Although devoted Stephen King fans might not find it quite satisfying, this updated version of a horror classic is nonetheless quite good. Number 8. Amber Alert. It is a crime thriller drama, directed by Carrie Bellessa. The story begins with Jack, who is running late for a romantic date and gets into a cab driven by Shane. What begins as a typical journey suddenly escalates when Jack notices a car nearby being driven by someone associated with a recently announced red alert. Soon after, Shane and Jack set out on an unforeseen quest that turned their ride-sharing into a search for the abducted girl. What follows is a suspenseful, high-stakes chase in which they fight against time to avoid something tragic. The main attraction of the movie is Hayden Panettiere and Tyler James Williams' charisma and talent, which lift the otherwise unoriginal plot. Their chemistry makes the movie a fun watch. Even though some plot turns are predictable, Amber Alert has the familiar appeal of knowing exactly what to expect and satisfying anticipation without falling short. Number 7. Control. It is a 2024 tech thriller film, directed by Vikramaditya Motwane. The movie tells the story of Nella and Joe, a couple who met as teens and rose to prominence on social media by filming significant events in their life. Their once cute friendship progressively turns monetary, with money-making gaining priority. Everything shifts when Nella unintentionally learns that Joe cheating on her, which results in their dramatic breakup. In her despair, a follower advises she download the app, an AI assistant meant to remove every trace of Joe from her daily activities, even his digital influence. But events take an unsettling turn, with unforeseeable consequences unraveling, as the artificial intelligence acquires greater authority over Nella's life. The idea is intriguing, but the way it's done feels a little too formulaic. Although it doesn't innovate, the movie touches on well-known tech thriller and AI cliches. However, its suspenseful elements compensate for any lack of creativity. Overall, the movie tells a compelling story about the risks of unrestrained AI authority and addresses contemporary social issues. Number 6. Slingshot. It is a 2024 science fiction thriller film, directed by Mikkel Hafström. The narrative centers on astronaut John, who awakens from hypersleep while traveling in deep space on the ship Odyssey 1 to Titan, Saturn's moon. Nash, another crew member, and Captain Franks are with him. Shortly, when an instrument panel on the vessel breaks free, things take an enigmatic turn, even though sensors and visual feeds indicate nothing wrong. Nash begins to worry that the ship may not make it through the impending slingshot procedure around Jupiter, a movement that is essential to getting to Titan. While Nash attempts to persuade John to forsake the mission and head back to Earth, the crew finds it difficult to discern between hallucinations and reality, making them uncertain of the true situation on board. Overall, it is a perceptive and scary science fiction movie that centers on a small group of people in one isolated setting. It manipulates experience, perception, and imagination to create an environment in which nothing seems stable or dependable. As the plot develops, the audience is left wondering which scenes are real and which aren't, which heightens the tension. To sum up, Slingshot is a well-written thriller that is occasionally brutal, but always engaging and interesting. Number 5. Strange Darling. It is a 2023 thriller film, directed by J.T. Mollner. The narrative centers on a woman and a man who meet in a nightclub and wind up checking into a hotel room. The woman tells him about her violent dreams, but they are both keeping sinister secrets from one another. After what seems to be a tempting encounter goes out of control, there is hunting, shooting, and increasing violence throughout the night and day. The scenario swiftly turns into a perilous activity where survival remains the sole objective throughout the bloodshed. The film provides a unique take on thrillers, with a mix of twists and shocking moments, even though the tale itself isn't extremely complex. But for viewers who pay attention, the film's non-linear narration structure is a gift, since they can identify features that reoccur in different circumstances. While Strange Darling does not provide broad perspectives into violence or time, its excellent style and execution make it an intriguing viewing, demonstrating how style may sometimes outweigh content. Number 4. Res Ball. It is a 2024 sports drama film, directed by Sidney Freeland. The story follows Natani and Jimmy, two best friends, who grew up practicing basketball on the Navajo reservation in New Mexico. However, once a tragedy befalls Natani, Jimmy has to deal with what happened and assume leadership of the school's basketball squad. Luckily, the team has a chance to win the state championship under Coach Heather Hobbs' direction. But they have several obstacles to overcome. Coach Hobbs is thinking about quitting the team, a fellow player already has a kid, Jimmy's mother Gloria suffers from alcoholism, requiring him to work part-time, and the squad needs financing. The film's endearing plot provides both entertainment value and significant social commentary. Its masterful fusion of humor, drama, and action works wonderfully. In addition, the film emphasizes the value of multi-generational unity, custom, neighborhood, and a common passion of basketball. Overall, it's a balanced, engaging, and gratifying story packed with solid ideas. Number 3. The Killer's Game. It is a 2024 action comedy film, directed by J.J. Perry. The story revolves around elite assassin Joe Flood, who on a mission, saves an aspiring ballerina named Maze, and they instantly fall in love. But Joe soon finds out from his medical professional that he only has a few months to live due to a degenerative disease. To save Maze the agony of witnessing him die, as well as discovering the reality about his fatal job, Joe arranges an attack on himself and recruits former adversary, Mariana, who eagerly accepts the assignment. As the deal is about to go into force, Joe receives a call from his physician informing him that his diagnosis was incorrect and that he is not dying. Inevitably, it's far too late to postpone the hit, and Joe ends up finding himself pursued by an army of trained murderers. Despite not being very inventive, the movie makes the most out of its action comedy plot and keeps a lively and fast-paced rhythm. Although Perry's direction keeps the action interesting and varied, Bautista's performance is the movie's real focal point. While The Killer's Game does not recreate the genre and focuses on its game idea, it remains entertaining by integrating action and romance in a manner that is neither overly intense nor repetitious. Number 2. Speak No Evil. It is a 2024 psychological horror thriller film, directed by James Watkins. It is a reimagining of the Danish film of the same name from 2022. The plot involves a couple, Patty and Louise, who, after meeting another couple on holiday, invite them to their distant property for a weekend. What begins as a harmless trip quickly becomes a horrific experience as the Patty dark cruel instincts emerge. The guests' couple become entangled in a web of mental suffering, helpless to escape the growing horrific acts. Some who prefer more intense quick-paced horrors might not find this slow-burning horror to their taste. However, its investigation into human protocol and how they can be used to disastrous purposes creates a layer of psychological richness that lingers with the audience long after the ending credits roll. Overall, it's a thought-provoking, unsettling psychological horror that feeds off of unease and suspense. Its slow pacing and attention to human fragility create an unsettling experience. Number 1. Beetlejuice. It is a 2024 dark fantasy comedy horror film, directed by Tim Burton. In this follow-up to the 1988 cult hit Beetlejuice, Michael Keaton's renowned and quirky ghost Beetlejuice reappears alongside brand new characters for even more paranormal mayhem. The story opens with Lydia Dietz returning to Winter River with her daughter, Astrid, following a family loss. But when Astrid unintentionally sets up an entrance to the afterlife, her human soul is jeopardized. In order to save her daughter from this catastrophe, Lydia takes a non-conventional approach and calls upon Beetlejuice. The film maintains Tim Burton's characteristic bizarre, gothic look, combining real-world effects with modern VFX. The afterlife segments are inventive and eccentric, preserving the original's humorous charm while incorporating modern advances to improve Beetlejuice's odd realm. Even though the movie keeps a lot of the original's quirky comedy, some fans might think it leans too much on nostalgia without really exploring the plot. But Keaton and Ryder's performances, in particular, keep the movie entertaining and fun. That's it for today. Thank you for watching this video. And do subscribe our channel to see more videos related to movies and series suggestions.